Hello, guys, and welcome to episode 4 of the Afterburner podcast. I hope you are doing well. And today, of course, Ethan is joining me again for the 4th episode, and we haven't filmed this in a while. So, welcome back to the podcast, Ethan.
Thank you.
Yeah, amazing to have you back on. Obviously, this time around, there's not a lot to talk about. Even me and Ethan literally were just talking before we even started recording this. That there's literally nothing to talk about. There's literally the Poppy Appeal stuff and a couple of stories within the RAF. And as well, there's also some stuff to do with the HMS Queen Elizabeth, which, of course, Ethan will talk more about. I believe you're going to talk about that, Ethan, because obviously you're, again, very into the Navy, as we've obviously talked about in recent things. But yeah, so obviously ignore what's going on at the moment. This is just stuff that we can add in, literally just background music. So yeah, just ignore the facts of that. But yeah, so I hope you are all having a great day. And Ethan, if you want to, I don't know what you want to talk about first, to be honest. Is there any stories between the Navy at the moment?
No, but the Poppy Appeal, I think that's where we should start. We should start to talk about the Poppy Appeal and how much the public can actually get involved this year, more than ever, to help out. It's been all over the news. Sorry, let me just get the back up.
Of course. While you actually get that up, Ethan, if you like, we can actually just jump to a really quick story. Myself, obviously, if you have known about my Instagram account, I've been to RF Coningsby 2 times. Obviously, the previous time, first time going, I never actually recorded any of it and posted it social media. But I did obviously do it the second time, as you guys knew, from obviously following my Instagram and everything, which went night flying there. But there is also a particular news story about RAF Coningsby, and it says the aircraft spotters have been blamed for causing damage to RAF Coningsby, which is very different because normally the RAF Coningsby staff and police force there are quite on top of it. However, it just say here on Lincolnshire Live, on their Google page, saying there that aircraft enthusiasts who gather outside a Lincolnshire Air Base, which is of course RAF Coningsby, to take photographs have been blamed for causing damage which could impact the security of the work carried out here. But throughout the year, enthusiasts from across the country obviously travel to RAF Coningsby to watch the aircraft at the base and take the opportunity to photograph them in action. It has been it's become so popular that there is a designated spotters car park and viewing area for fans to gather. So the base is obviously home to 2 frontline combat ready squadrons and is training station for Typhoon pilots. It is also where the Battle of Britain Memorial Flight as well is based. And there has obviously been reports in recent weeks that the station has said that there has been several instances of damage caused to the security fence and are now encouraging the members of the public to report instances to the RAF police. Which obviously when I stood outside RAF Coningsby to actually have a look at everything, they actually have numerous posters actually out there saying that you call this number if there is any security breaches or anything. But the station posted on its Facebook page at RAF Coningsby, we are conscious of and very grateful for the support we receive from aircraft and the enthusiast community. We thank everyone who takes the time to come and visit us here at RAF Coningsby, both visiting the Battle of Britain Memorial Flight and the Spotters car park. But unfortunately, over the last few weeks, there has been several instances of damage being caused to the fence that from people attempting to take pictures of our aircraft. Obviously, it is credited to be a lot difficult to take photos because literally the fences, the squares within the fence are very small, and there's literally barely any room for those who obviously have really high-tech cameras to be able to take pictures. That's why you see people, you may call them idiots for taking step ladders to air bases, but that's why they sort of use the step ladders to literally just get above the actual fence so they can take clear photos. I don't know if you want to add anything on that, Ethan.
Yeah, so with people that take step ladders, they do it to Gatwick as well, and it's just so they can pop over, just so just so they don't break the fences. But I mean, for RF Coningsby, I didn't see that as I didn't think people would be doing that, but I don't know what to say on it, to be fair.
Yeah, it is a hard thing to say about, really.
because obviously we don't hear the full story
Yeah,
as
yeah. I
such.
think
So
I think no, it's fine. Yeah, I think that's something that's. I mean, it's quite difficult to judge on it because with the COVID stuff and everything. I mean, there's been news at RF Barham that they've been saying to people to move on. There's no designated spotters area for RF Barham.
is there
And
not?
aircraft enthusiasts. No, there's not actually. People are parking on the side of the roads, and it's dangerous apparently. So they have the RF police that literally come out and tell the people to move along because they're literally not allowed people to be there. Um, Again, I don't really get why farmers don't literally just give up a bit of their land and literally just put it as a small car park, which I don't really understand. But people could be a bit judgy about that. But yeah, I don't know really. It's quite a hard one to discuss really because I suppose it is to do with security. They have got, I believe, they've still got the U.S. Marines there. You
They
could
have,
probably
yeah, they
correct me
have.
on that. Yeah, yeah, there you go. They still obviously have the U.S. Marine Corps there with the F-35 B model. I think they have. Correct me on that one if you
They
can.
have the they have the B. Yeah, I'm pretty sure
They
it's the
have the B
B.
model, yeah. And obviously the Air Force have the B model as well. Obviously, I believe doesn't the Navy have the B model as well? Didn't you say?
I think they've all got the B. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So obviously, I don't know what that's to do with security because they are like 21st century jets that are literally ridiculously, ridiculously um, funded to literally
70,
do their job.
70 billion pounds for one
70
jet.
billion pounds. That's amazing. That's incredible.
Yeah,
That's just amazing. And
for
how many
one
are on the
jet.
HMS Queen Elizabeth at a time?
So when it's just gone out, when it just went out the other week, there was 35.
35. So,
Yeah,
well, we're talking, hundreds of hundreds of billions of pounds.
yeah, it's
That's yeah,
mad.
that's incredible. But again, obviously, that is a quite a big thing in the news. But yeah, of course. Obviously, there was one thing that obviously me and Ethan obviously did want to talk about. Ethan, I don't know if you want to explain about the poppy bill.
Well, yeah, I can start it off. So, obviously,
Mm.
the Royal British Legion are crying out for help this year more than ever with the puppy appeal. Yes, we can't go out onto the streets and stuff, but there are ways to support the puppy appeal still this year, and you can do this by donating for the puppies to be posted through your door and your neighbour's door, your local communities, or you can just
Mm.
even just displaying a puppy in your window and donating online, or it says here you can go on a virtual poppy run, so you can go on a run and raise money, or just even get a bit of paper, print it out, stick it in your window, and that's still creating awareness for the puppy appeal.
Mm.
I mean, I don't really know obviously what to say on this one either because it's a charity that's obviously all charities have suffered, but obviously
Yeah.
this coming month is all about the puppies. But there's so much that you can do to help out. So if you can help out because they need it, and the work that they do every year is insane, and they're all volunteers, or most of them
Mm.
are. So they're
Yeah.
hardly that they're not really paid. So if you
Yeah.
can help out, help out.
Exactly. Yeah. That I think that's a very clear message. Obviously, there's been news saying about the center graph in it, or was it the center path? I don't know. But
Um,
anyway, I probably should know that to be honest. I think it's the center graph. I think it
yeah.
is center path, center graph. I don't know, but it is mainly obviously the memorial down near Downing Street, actually, in
Oh
London.
yeah, the I know the one that you're on about.
No,
Yeah,
I think it is the center path, isn't it?
I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah. They're obviously they've told people to stay away from that landmark on what is going to be Remembrance Day. There's news that obviously Remembrance Day parades for cadet services. Me and Ethan, of course, are part of the RF. You're still part of the RF cadets, aren't you?
I am, yeah.
Yeah, you are. So obviously we're both part of the RF Air Cadets. Don't know whether your squadron, Ethan. Obviously, we can't really give away our squadrons because that's just a security breach. Or believe. Yeah, I believe it is. But yeah, anyway, so I don't know whether your squadron, Ethan, is still doing the Remembrance Parade next month. I know that there's no confirmation, and my squadron's still doing it because it's not even gone back to our squadron yet. Next month we are, but I don't think this is going to be extremely unlikely that, especially whereabouts I live, there's going to be a Remembrance Parade on the 11th of November. I don't know if that's going to happen to your squadron in your area, Ethan.
Yeah, so we were told the other day that ours has been cancelled. Only a couple of people from the squadron can actually go down into the church, which will be the staff.
Right.
But on that Sunday, I'll still be doing stuff.
Oh yeah.
I'll still do stuff. So as
Yeah.
much as it's been cancelled, the day hasn't been cancelled. Just the parade. I'll still be doing stuff throughout the whole day.
Yeah.
I may even go down to a memorial. There's a couple round here. Find like one that's not busy, and go down to
Yeah.
one for like 11 o'clock. So
Yeah.
I still do stuff.
Yeah, of course. Obviously, that's also going to be something that's actually going to come to my account on here on YouTube and on obviously on Instagram. Obviously, our social medias, we both post quite frequently, especially at the moment, Ethan. But yeah, definitely, I think the Remembrance Day things are definitely going to be something I'm definitely going to put out onto my Instagram and YouTube account because, it's a remarkable thing every year that I think not necessarily should be compulsory, but I think maybe everyone, in my opinion, should be able to at least reflect, just even if it's just for a minute. Just reflect for 1 minute. At 11 o'clock, just to reflect for those, maybe those in their particular country, or even here in the UK, of what the soldiers did during wars. And that's obviously why it's called Remembrance Day. Obviously, I'm definitely going to be putting on my uniform on Remembrance Day because obviously, just because my squadron isn't doing a Remembrance Parade this year doesn't necessarily mean that there's no excuse that I shouldn't get into my uniform and at least do a particular something. So that's definitely going to be something that's going to come to my Instagram and YouTube account. Have you got any plans for Remembrance Day, Ethan?
Yeah, I'm not too sure which uniform I'll be putting on yet because I've got my college uniform and my air cadet one.
Yeah.
So I'm not too sure what I'll be putting on yet. I need to confirm with each one which one I'm allowed to wear because sometimes
Yeah.
you're not, so sometimes you are. I know that the air cadets they quite
Mm.
allow you to wear it, but
Yeah, they're quite open.
my college one reflects all three of the services, so it's
Yeah.
military preparation. So that one would, I don't know, but I will certainly put on uniform of some sort, either air cadet or college. And I don't know what I'll do if I go onto my doorstep and do it, or if I go down into the
Yeah.
town and go stand by a
Yeah.
memorial. I'm not too sure, but I will definitely do something and things
Yeah.
throughout the day. On the build up, I'm going to be posting a lot about the poppy pill because it needs. Obviously, it's a big thing. Posting a lot, and then on the day, I'll also post about it as well. So
Yeah.
my social
Yeah.
media, there's going to be stuff all about it.
Of course, and obviously the poppy pill, as you really amazingly explained when we started talking about the poppy pill, about 5 minutes ago or something. Obviously, Ethan, you obviously opened up saying that the poppy pill obviously is struggling and are crying out for help. So obviously for those who are listening or even watching this, please do reach out, at least get a poppy, because again, as they say, every poppy counts. Because during this coronavirus pandemic, it's really, really struggled and pulled down the Royal British Legion with the poppies and everything. And I think now, because of COVID, there's going to be less people out selling them, less people in your shops, raising the awareness of it because of COVID. And obviously, most of our military sources are now obviously doing particular things, even at even the testing centres with COVID, obviously, the military at the moment, especially in the UK, is literally pulled to its longest string, if that makes sense. And it does say here the virtual field of remembrance, and the Royal British Legion has put out on their website how to really sort of even do your bit, even though it's virtually this year. Obviously, there's still going to be, I believe, a BBC live stream of the centre I think. And obviously, it gives you sort of a little virtual tribute thing. So it says here, to all those who sacrifice, we will forever be in your depth, remembering all members of the armourer trade who made the ultimate, remembering all who have saved and sacrificed. So that's a virtual field of remembrance that you can actually go to the Royal British Legion website to actually go and have a look at that. I don't know whether have you seen that yet, Ethan?
No, I haven't. Oh, I did see that on their Instagram page. The British Legion
Yeah,
put a link on their Instagram page, so I did see that. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that was a nice thing that they put on, obviously. But yeah, again, the Broad British Legion this year are really, really urging people literally just to buy a poppy, because it's not just yourself that's making a contribution. It's making a contribution and a donation to the Royal British Legion that can then go to maybe charities that help. For an example, there's charities that again, obviously helps those suffering with maybe PTSD, or particular things that are suffered within war. And it even still goes to the armed forces. There's obviously just one thing. I don't know whether you wanted to add anything else, Ethan, on that, because obviously I think there's also something that we could also move on to, and that is the Black History Month, and who was actually Walter Tall. So I don't know whether you want to add anything onto the Royal British Legion, Ethan.
No, I'm happy to move on.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, so there's a thing here on Forces News, saying obviously about Black History Month. And for those who may know who Walter Tall is, people may not. People may know who Walter Tall is. But it obviously is a remarkable life that they should have, well, we still do obviously remember. But Walter Tall was a serviceman and talented athlete, but also a history maker. He was born in Folkestone in Kent on 28th of April 1888 to an English mother and Barbadian father. So losing his parents at just 9 years old, and he and his brother were brought up at an orphanage in Bethnal Green, East London. Tall made huge strides in British football and served his country at war, fighting in the Battle of Somme, as people may know, obviously in France. So the pioneering football, so obviously not going to go too in depth with his football career, but obviously he played as a forward for, I believe, Tottenham. No, he played for Clapham FC. And then signed by Tottenham Hotspur. And then obviously after 2 goals and 10 appearances for Spurs, he moved to Northampton Town in 1911. Which is amazing. And of course, at the outbreak of the war in 1914, First World War, Toole joined the 17th First Football Battalion of the Middlesex Regiment as a lance corporal. An encounter with shell shock following the year landed him in hospital before returning to the action in September 1916, fighting in the Battle of Somme. After a period of training as an officer in Britain, Toole returned to the front line in 23rd Battalion of the Middlesex Regiment as a second lieutenant. Army regulations of the time prohibited a person of colour from being commissioned as an officer, but Toole was promoted to lieutenant in 1917. He is obviously widely considered of the first man of African Caribbean mixed heritage to be commissioned as an infantry officer in the British Army. Have you got any thoughts on this, Ethan? Because obviously this is amazing. That obviously they're now even more spreading this, because he was obviously still said about, and it was taught, especially in my school on Remembrance Day. Before this Black Lives Matter thing that came along. But obviously, at the moment, I think because of this, it spread more awareness of maybe what things should be done to maybe spread the word of those who have served, that have obviously come from a black background. So some
Yes.
of the oh,
Yeah. It's amazing, and I think with the Black Lives Matter protests and stuff, this has been made more. It's had more awareness,
Yeah.
and it's been out in the news more. So a lot more stuff's coming out about it all, and
Mm.
I think it should be evenly spread. It should be no one should be treated differently. So I think the more that we can get awareness of it, the more that we can get it out into the press, into the news, um, the more it will all become. We'll say even. You know what I mean? It will all become.
Yeah, equality basically.
Yeah, yeah. It'll all be equality. So I think it's little steps that are going to lead to the big future, and this is what we're
Mm.
doing at the moment. You know, there's little steps that are happening. They seem big in the
Yeah.
real world, but when you have to pull it all together, you know, they're taking step by step by step to get to equality, and you know, it's been going on forever,
Yeah,
and
it
it's come
has.
so far already
Mm.
that we're
Yeah.
starting to see that equality,
Yeah.
especially here in the UK, and other countries, you know, but some countries are still not quite the equality.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and I think Black Lives Matter has really, really helped that. Um, and yeah, I think it's been a really good thing, and it's made a massive contribution, and it's sort of awoken the world. Not everyone is racist, obviously. That's obviously not the thing that they're trying to get across. It's those who are racist and those who are making black people in general feel they're not, there's no inequality. And I think it's really, really good that Black Lives Matter has really made an effect on that, really. But yeah, so I don't know whether there's anything you'd like to talk about, Ethan. Obviously, there's nothing from myself, but is there anything, maybe stories that you've heard that you would like to add in?
No, there's nothing from the Navy, apart
No.
from HMS Queen Elizabeth coming obviously back to the port, the dock the other day.
Yeah.
HMS Montrose has come back. I'm pretty sure is still
Oh,
out doing
yeah.
drug raids. Um, but apart from that, it's been very quiet.
Yeah, it has. Um, if I may, literally only just mention the space launch things. Obviously, myself has another passion in space. That's why there's a little thing flickering on the stream between NASA, SpaceX, and Launch America that happened earlier this year, in May 30th. When spaceflight was obviously brought back into America. There's massive launches and events that are coming up extremely soon. 2 cosmonauts will perform a spacewalk in the International Space Station in November next month. Looking forward to that. And of course, the delayed SpaceX Crew Dragon spacecraft, which will dock to the International Space Station with crew members Mike Hopkins, Victor Glover, Soichi Juki, I think, and Shannon Walker. That's going to be the first full crewed flight that will go to the International Space Station and continue American space flights. That'll be staying there for 6 months. And then early in December, they've got Dragon, again, where they filled with a resupply cargo, which will dock to the International Space Station, and that marks the first time that two SpaceX Dragon spacecraft are docked to with the station at the same time. There's some Mars landings, and there's also removal of a Russian cargo craft, which is way in April next year. But yeah, that is mainly obviously what I do. Space launches will still continue to be live streamed, so make sure to stay out for that. There's a couple of Starlink launches and a Delta 4 Heavy lifting off from Cape Canaveral. And as well, there is a couple of Starship SpaceX test flights coming up very soon as well. So lots of more space live streams and videos coming up in the future, and lots more content still to come. So that is sort of my rant over. Well, I say it was a rant. Sort of just a bit of an information guidance to, again, of SpaceX and particular space launches. So really, Ethan, if you have nothing else to say, then we could start wrapping it up for the first launch. First launch. What am I saying? First. No, what am I talking about? Sorry, the fourth episode. We can start wrapping that up if you have nothing else to say.
Yes, I've got nothing else to say. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's been a pleasure having you on, Ethan. And again, these podcasts will hopefully be continued. It's amazing doing this podcast. It's an amazing thing to do. And it's hopefully it's really entertaining for you guys. So it'd be great if you could leave this video a like, if you have liked it, and dislike it, if you don't like the podcasts, and leave a comment down below maybe what other things we can improve to it, because it is hard to please everyone. So it'd be really great if you could leave a comment down below on that. But again, though, thank you ever so much, Ethan, for joining us. Or joining myself, let's say. It's amazing having you on every single time. And I hope you really enjoy it. Really.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, or like you were saying, yeah, it's hard. So please do leave a comment and a like or a dislike, because it is hard to please everyone. But comment what you want to see or what you want us to improve, because it's amazing doing these, but it's a lot of hard work trying to think of
It is
stuff to talk about if there's not much going on in the news. So
Yeah,
ideas would be really helpful.
yeah, I can completely agree with you, and refer to myself from what you've just said. So it'd be great, guys. As well, make sure to keep up to date with our socials. Myself, YouTube, Instagram, as well TikTok. I've not really been doing much TikToks, to be honest, but I will obviously be growing that. And as well, make sure to stay tuned to this weekend. Lots of things going to be coming out extremely soon on my Instagram and YouTube as well. Stay tuned for that 11th of November date of the Remembrance Day, where Ethan, obviously, I believe you're doing stuff. So I don't know whether you want to just mention your socials now, if you like.
Yeah, so I've got two accounts, and they'll be across both my accounts. But my account is, you can go to Ethan. Oh no, hold on a minute, I've gone blank. So you can go to one of my accounts, which is Ethan Remmers. We can leave it in the comments if you would like.
Yes, of course, I will leave that just in the comment now.
My other account is Ethan.Aviation_photography. On both those accounts, I've got loads more stuff coming out over the next. I've got 2 weeks of nothing, so 2 weeks of getting content ready, prepared, and getting it all out. So go and check out both my accounts.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Thank you.
Obviously go and check out all of our socials and everything, because I'm sure particular things will be brought out to do with the podcast and to do with recent stories what we'll be talking about. I'll put a poll up after this actually is released. And that really. So obviously our socials will be in the description below, so make sure to go and check that out just after this. But yeah, guys, so thank you so much for joining, Ethan. It's been a pleasure always having you on, and you're always welcome to join any of the podcasts in the future.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a pleasure coming on. Thank you.
Yeah, it really is great having you on. So again, guys, thank you so much for the recent support, even on, for example, Ethan's channel, which of course he's growing a lot. As well, I've literally just hit 53, 54 followers in literally 2 weeks of literally just hitting 200 followers. So thank you so much for the support, guys. Keep it up, even on myself and Ethan's channel. And everything. But yeah, so thank you so much for watching episode 4 of the Afterburner podcast. Episode 5 will be coming soon, and make sure to keep up to date with our socials for the rest of this. Thank you so much, guys. Stay safe, and we will speak to you in episode 5.
Ignition. Liftoff of the Falcon